welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here in your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wealth.
Happy Saturday and welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show with you every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. for well over 6 years, believe it or not. And we have, if you go to our YouTube channel at donandgino.com, get this, we will have over 1,700 YouTube videos with interviews with some of the best professionals that we can find. This is not just two talking heads. Today it's no Gino, but it's Don, but I have brought one of our favorite and most important guests we usually bring on, because right now, I guarantee you, hear me out on this, because you're going to want to listen to this entire show, or at least listen to the recording. Good thing we video this show, and we do record it on YouTube, so you can go to donandgino.com and look at a ton of great videos, but today is going to be really important. In fact, you can join us today by going to donandgino.com, donandgino.com, click on the live streaming button, and voila, you enter the studio. You see my very handsome guest who's been on the show multiple times as our financial expert, Mr. Chris Ingram with Ingram Financial Solutions?
Yep, you got it.
That's it. Services. Ingram Financial Solutions. And Chris has been a part of our show. He's a good friend of ours. He's the one that got Gino and I, when we talk about afterburn fitness, he's the one that drug us in there, because he looks like, you know, one of those guys you see on the covers of Muscle Fitness and stuff.
That's not true.
He's saying not true. It's funny, we were talking before the show started. It just sucks getting older. It's so hard to push that hard every day, isn't it, Chris?
Yep, it's a different animal. I'm 41 now. I always said that, 40 wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it feels like a big deal. It's everything hurts.
Yeah, wait till you get your 50s.
That's what everybody says. I remember when I was 30 and they said wait till you get to your 40s. So.
Yeah, you thought it was an advantage. I remember, what's his name, hit 40 before you, so he got a discounted points.
Oh, Damon. Yeah.
You were like, that's not fair. Now you're in your 40s going, well, maybe it was.
Well,
not really. You guys are only like 2 years apart.
Yeah, we basically were in high school at the same time, and he got an advantage because he was over 40 and I was 39.
And that was the difference he won by, probably.
Yeah, no, I don't know. He deserved it.
You did.
Dame, if you're listening, you won.
He did. You guys
I'll give it to you.
You guys are a whole nother level. I quit. All right, so we have Chris Ingram, and today we're going to talk about everybody wants to know whether they're investing or not, but they want to invest, or where should they invest, and what to do right now. We have some huge factors on the table right now. Of course, North Korea, nothing bigger than that right now. It's scaring the hell out of everyone. We also have one of the highest Dow, our Dow levels, one of the highest it's been. Plus, we have Trump. You never know what he's going to say. I'm not choosing sides, just saying you never know what he's going to say. New administration is still trying to figure out if they get, what they're going to be able to accomplish in Congress. We have so much. So when is the correction coming? Is our crash coming? These are the things that all of us want to know, including me. I am super ecstatic to have Chris here, because I was already picking his brain, so I'm going, ooh, that's good stuff. So Chris is bringing some real factors. Remember, the media is going to spin that there's a crash. And I know I've been listening for quite some time. We've been hearing about a stock market crash since, 2015, Chris?
Maybe sooner than that.
Maybe sooner, okay.
Or earlier than that, yeah.
And, we tell you all the time, be careful of the media, because I know there's a lady named Diana that's been telling us there's going to be a real estate crash for 4 years now. You would have lost, 50% in value that you would have gained if you would have bought a house. So be careful what you listen to. You need to listen to pros that are connected daily, just like we are. So Chris is going to share with you some great stuff about when is the correction coming, what do you do to protect if it is coming. He's going to give some examples from other markets. It's really good to look at history. That's what Gino and I do. That's why we don't panic ever. We watch trends. We watch history. We have a pretty good idea when things are going to move, as does Chris. I know when interest rates are going to move. We suggest our clients when to lock and not lock based on those factors. Chris, you have a lot of factors. Same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not a whole lot of surprise. Every once in a while we get surprised, but not often. And then we're going to talk about certain years, their volatility, what would happen if you didn't ride it out or you panic, how that affects you, how the current market stands, and then Chris is going to give some advice of what maybe you should think about doing with your own portfolio, whether you're an investor or a trader. There is a difference. Whew. This is going to be quite the show.
It's a lot of stuff, yeah.
I guess we better get going.
Right.
So why don't we start off, Chris, with the number one factor, and we'll go into your examples, because I love how you're going to back it up and not just say, our correction has happened or not happened. Gino and I, every day on the National Real Estate Cafe, give specifics. Here's what's going on with appreciation levels, inflation levels, all these things that can affect the real estate market. You see the same thing, obviously, in the financial markets. Where do we sit now that we're at some of the highest levels? I know today, or this week, we had a big correction on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. I mean, over a couple hundred. That was a big deal. Right. So is that the start of the correction?
Yeah, that's the big question. So the question I get a lot, and I hear a lot, and you see it on the media, you see it on TV, you see other advisors talking about is the correction coming? And the answer to that question is yes, it's coming. We just have no clue when it's going to actually materialize. And that's the hard part, is everybody is saying, they hear somebody say the correction is coming, and they figure that means tomorrow, and they should start preparing for it. And that's where all of us try and you have a crystal ball sitting on the table here, and it's about as useful as everybody else's crystal ball, because nobody really knows when it's going to happen. We try and dig out the data, look at the information, look at fundamentals, look at the valuations on the market, different things like that, to try and give us some kind of a guideline and help us understand where we are in the market cycle and what is most likely going to happen over the short term. But in the short term, it's unpredictable. The market is unpredictable, and it's very difficult to try and pretend that you know the answer.
Well, why don't we help a lot of you out there, because there's a confusion. I guarantee right now you're like, oh my God, a correction. Explain a correction versus a crash, because actually corrections, we have it in the bond market for interest rates. We actually like the corrections that creates a support level for another, another step up, basically, or it could protect us from it crashing.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. Correction, if you get a 5 to 10% correction, that's a nice, moderate, little correction. I think they actually put the number at a 20% or more. We go into a bear market. Crashes are, you look at what happened from 2000 to 2002 and in 2008. Those were over 50%. Those are crashes. Yes. That's much different than what you're going to get into events, 15 to 20% correction.
You can't get much more dramatic events than what caused those two.
Those two, and for them to happen within the same decade made for a crazy market environment from 2000 to 2010.
You're welcome, Chris.
Yeah. I always say, I got into this business in 1998, and so I always said, the first real solid decade of my career was one of the most hectic and volatile in the history of the stock market. So I was, trained in, what is the saying? Trained
Warfare,
in fire or whatever.
Yeah. But I think that's a good thing, because it's easy. Okay, I started in the real estate market, and it was euphoric for my first 4 or 5 years. So I just thought, it's only going to get better. I'm only going to make more money. I've never been through a correction.
Right.
I wish I would have gone through my first or second years before I started spending my money.
Right.
And then the real estate market corrected, and I went, ooh, what's that?
Right.
And I was in trouble.
Yeah. No, I became a more conservative rather quickly and early in my career, because I saw the potential and saw that how devastating it can be and the emotions that surround it. So it was a good time to learn. It was definitely a difficult market environment to be in.
Help you protect your clients more, I would imagine, because it's super easy when the market's really good to get aggressive and think, look at me and pound your chest.
Well, yeah.
And say, look at how great of an investor I am for my clients. And then go, uh-oh,
right.
I might have put them at too much risk.
Well, and that's, tech bubble of 99. What were they were
there you go.
They were having monkeys throw darts at dartboards,
Yep,
and
I
they were
remember
picking
that.
stocks, and they were showing the performance of those portfolios. And it was, they were outperforming the market with those portfolios because Pets.com was up 250%.
Well, how many day traders do we know that said that they're just incredible traders?
Right. And
I'm a day trader.
I'm pretty sure they all have different jobs at this point.
That's a good point. I don't know. I think
not
I know
many
one.
not many that I knew back then are actually still day traders.
Yeah. So that's why we brought Chris Ingram again with Ingram Financial Solutions, a good friend. He actually works on our portfolios and stuff, does a great job and for our clients and stuff. And again, we're bringing Chris here to talk about things that you need to think about regarding your portfolios or your potential investments, what to watch out for, if there's going to be a correction soon, some of the specifics about previous markets that you got to live through.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah, I'll share some of that.
Okay, so before we go to break, one last thing, do you have any sense of timing or how big the correction may be?
It's really tough to say how big. That goes back to that crystal ball thing.
Yeah, I
what is
agree.
it really going to look like? I don't know. I think that in the short term, there's probably a good, 5 to 8% that we could see, probably maybe even the next month or so. But I think, you could probably see a 15 to 20% correction in this market at some point in the future easily.
All right, so we're going to go on break on that. So what does it mean to you out there? You're like, wait, that's a lot of money.
Right.
What do I do? Should I get out now? We're going to talk more about it because luckily we got Chris Ingram with Ingram Finance Solutions here on the Don and Gino Real Estate Finance Show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.